In previous video, we discussed how a powerful being named Jalandhara was born and how Jalandhara ruled his kingdom with an iron will. In this video, we discussed the brutal war of gods and demons and the battle between Jalandhara and Vishnu. One day, a wise sage named Bhargava came to the court of King Jalandhara. The demon king and his warriors bowed to him in respect. As the court continued, Jalandhara saw Rahu, a strange-looking asura with only a head and no body. Curious, Jalandhara asked, "O sage, what happened to Rahu? Why does he not have a body?" Sage Bhargava replied, "Long ago, your ancestor King Bali defeated the gods. The gods then asked Lord Vishnu for help. Vishnu advised them to make peace and churn the cosmic ocean to get Amrita, the nectar of immortality. Both gods and demons worked together. Many treasures came from the ocean. But when the nectar appeared, the gods tricked the demons and drank it all. Rahu, a clever demon, disguised himself as a god and drank the nectar. But Vishnu saw through his trick and cut off his head with his divine Sudarshana chakra. Since the nectar had already touched his throat, Rahu did not die. He became a floating head and now chases the sun and moon, causing eclipses. Jalandhara's anger grew like a raging fire. How dare the gods steal from my father, the great ocean? This is unfair. The gods must pay for this. He called his trusted messenger Ghasmara and said, "Go to Indra, the king of the gods. Tell him to return my father's treasures, or there will be a war." Ghasmara reached Indra's palace and delivered Jalandhara's message. Indra was surprised but soon became proud and stubborn. The ocean's treasures belong to the gods. If Jalandhara wants war, then let there be war. When Ghasmara returned with Indra's reply, Jalandhara's fury exploded like a volcano. He gathered his mighty demon army and marched to the heavens. The war was fierce, swords clashed, arrows flew, and the earth shook. Jalandhara's warriors Shumba and Nishumba fought bravely. The gods were strong, but Jalandhara's power was unstoppable. Both sides suffered great losses, but something strange was happening. Fallen demons were coming back to life. Sage Bhargava was using a secret power to revive them. At the same time, a wise sage named Angiras used magical herbs to revive the gods. Jalandhara asked, "How are the gods returning from the dead?" Sage Bhargava revealed the secret. "O king, the gods are using herbs from Mount Drona to revive themselves." Without wasting time, Jalandhara lifted the entire mountain with his hands and threw it in the ocean. Now the gods had no way to return their warriors to life. Seeing their warriors fall, the gods panicked. Even Indra, the mighty king of the gods, ran away to hide. Jalandhara conquered the heavens and became the ruler of the gods' kingdom. With no other option, the gods went to Lord Vishnu for help. "O Vishnu, the protector of the universe, save us from Jalandhara," they pleaded. Lord Vishnu smiled and said, "Fear not, I will face Jalandhara." But his wife goddess Lakshmi was sad. "O Lord, please don't harm my brother Jalandhara." Vishnu replied, "I cannot kill him, but I must fight him to protect the gods." Vishnu entered the battlefield, and the gods gained new courage. The sky darkened as Vishnu and Jalandhara clashed in an epic battle. The earth trembled and the universe watched in silence. Jalandhara was strong and Vishnu was impressed. "You are a true warrior, Jalandhara. Ask for a boon and I shall grant it." Jalandhara smiled. "Then, my dear brother-in-law, come and stay in my kingdom with my sister Lakshmi and rule beside me." Vishnu was shocked, but he had promised to grant the boon. "So be it," he said with sadness. Jalandhara ruled over all three worlds, heaven, earth, and the underworld. He made the gods his servants and ruled wisely. There was no sickness or sadness in his kingdom, but the gods were unhappy. They went to Lord Shiva, the great destroyer, for help. Shiva listened carefully and thought of a plan. He sent the clever sage Narada to Jalandhara's court. Narada praised Jalandhara's power. "O great king, you have everything, wealth, strength and glory. But there is one thing missing. The most beautiful woman in the universe does not belong to you." Jalandhara's eyes widened. "Who is she?" Narada whispered, "She is goddess Parvati, the wife of Lord Shiva. She is more beautiful than the stars. Shouldn't she belong to a king like you? Jalandhara's pride took over. Then I shall claim her. And with that, Jalandhara set out on a path that would lead to his downfall. He thought, why should a wandering ascetic like Shiva have the most beautiful wife? I am the ruler of the three worlds, I should have her. And so he called his most trusted messenger Rahu. Rahu, go to Kailash, tell Shiva that he, a mere ascetic who lives in the mountains, does not deserve a beautiful wife like Parvati. She belongs to me, the ruler of the universe. Let him surrender her willingly before I take her by force. Upon reaching Kailash, Rahu was allowed inside by Nandi, Lord Shiva's guardian. But the moment Rahu saw Lord Shiva, he was struck with awe. Though afraid, Rahu gathered his courage and spoke. Rahu, hesitant but firm, said, O great Lord Shiva, I bring a message from my king Jalandhara. He says that he is the ruler of the three worlds and that your wife, goddess Parvati, should be with him instead of you, a simple ascetic. The moment Rahu finished speaking, something terrifying happened. From between Lord Shiva's eyebrows, a blinding light burst forth. Out of this light emerged a monstrous being, huge, terrifying, and hungry. His eyes burned like fire, his tongue flickered like a snake, and his mouth was wide enough to swallow the sky. Rahu trembled with fear. He tried to run, but the beast grabbed him. Rahu pleaded and said, O Lord Shiva, forgive me. I am just a messenger. Please don't let this monster devour me. Lord Shiva, kind and just, raised his hand. Lord Shiva calmly said, This being is my own creation, and I never let those who seek my refuge suffer. Release him. At Shiva's command, the terrifying being let Rahu go. But now it stood there confused and hungry. Kirtimukha, in a deep voice, said, O Lord Shiva, you created me, but now I am hungry. What shall I eat? Lord Shiva smiled and said, If you are truly hungry, eat yourself. Without hesitation, the creature obeyed. It began eating its own body, first its arms, then its legs, until only its head remained. Shiva, pleased by its obedience, gave it a special blessing. Lord Shiva smiled and said, You are truly devoted and powerful. From now on, you shall be called Kirtimukha, the face of glory. You will guard the entrance of my temples, and anyone who does not honor you before worshipping me will not receive my blessings. And so Kirtimukha became a sacred guardian seen on the entrance of every Shiva temple. This tale teaches us an important lesson. Arrogance leads to downfall, and true devotion is always rewarded. As for Jalandhara, well, let's just say that his arrogance was the beginning of his doom. But that's a story for another day. O seekers of truth, if you are enlightened by this story, please kindly like, share and subscribe to Chronicle Capsule, and don't forget to comment Har Har Mahadev.